The slap echoed through the room, louder than I thought sound could ever be. My mother-in-law's hand struck my face with brutal force, leaving my cheek burning and my dignity shattered. Before I could even react, my sister-in-law leaned forward, sneering, and spat at my feet, her eyes filled with open hatred. I didn't move, not because I was powerless, but because I had sworn to myself that I would never bring disorder into my husband's family. I had convinced myself over and over that patience, kindness, and silence would eventually win them over. But standing there, shaking, my face burning with humiliation, I realized the truth. Silence would never change them. They wanted to see me crushed. My mother-in-law's voice sliced through the air. "You are nothing. Do you understand? My son deserves someone far better than you. Someone who brings honor, not disgrace." Shame. That word had been thrown at me since the day I entered this family. I didn't belong to their privileged world. My parents were simple, hard-working people, and that alone was enough for my husband's family to see me as beneath them. My sister-in-law laughed coldly. "Look at her, standing there like a stray dog. Pathetic. Do you really think we'll ever accept you? You'll never be one of us." Her cruelty wasn't new. What was new was the sound that followed, the slow, deliberate creak of the front door opening. Light spilled in from the hallway, and suddenly everything changed. My mother-in-law's face turned pale, her raised hand dropping. My sister-in-law froze, her mocking smile stuck in place. Because standing in the doorway was the one man they feared more than anyone else, my father. They didn't truly know him, they only knew stories. They knew he was quiet, a retired army officer respected in our community, feared when provoked. They had mistaken his silence for weakness. As he stepped forward, his eyes hard as steel, their mistake became clear. "What," he asked calmly, his voice heavy with authority, "did you just do to my daughter?" The room fell into unbearable silence. My mother-in-law tried to speak. "We were only—" "Only what?" my father interrupted. "Only hitting her? Only spitting on her? In my home, even the daughters of my enemies are treated with respect, and here in your home you disgrace yourselves by abusing your son's wife." I had never seen fear strip people so quickly. My father didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. My husband rushed downstairs, drawn by the noise. He stopped when he saw my tear-streaked face and the mark on my cheek. His eyes moved from his mother and sister to my father and then to me. "What happened?" he whispered. "They hit her," my father said quietly, "and you allowed it." Those words cut deeper than the slap. My husband's face fell apart with guilt. "I didn't know. You chose not to know," my father said firmly. "A man's first duty is to protect his wife. If he cannot do that, he does not deserve to be called a husband." Tears filled my eyes. He was saying everything I had buried inside for years. I had waited so long for my husband to defend me. He never did. He always told me, "They'll change, just give it time." That time was gone. My mother-in-law snapped, trying to regain control. "You have no right to speak to us like this in our own house. When you raised your hand against my daughter, you gave me every right." The silence afterward was suffocating. My sister-in-law muttered under her breath, unable to meet his gaze. My mother-in-law looked away, her strength crumbling. Then my father turned to me, his voice softening. "My daughter, you do not have to live like this. You have a home where you are loved and respected. You can leave with me now." My husband's face turned white. He grabbed my hand. "Please don't go. I'll fix this, I promise. I'll stand up for you now. Just don't leave." I searched his eyes, hoping to see sincerity, but years of silence outweighed his sudden words. My father held out his hand, calm and steady. In that moment, I chose myself. I stepped forward, not to abandon my marriage, but to reclaim my worth. I looked at my husband and said, "If you mean it, prove it, right now, not later, not someday." My husband shook. His mother hissed in warning. His sister shook her head. But my husband straightened. "If you ever touch her again," his voice trembling but firm, "you will lose me. She is my wife. She deserves respect, and if you can't give it, we won't be part of your lives." The room filled with gasps. My mother-in-law burned with fury. My sister-in-law stormed out. But everything had shifted. For the first time, my husband chose me. My father nodded once. That was enough. The battles didn't end that day. My in-laws didn't suddenly change, but the power they once held was gone. They now knew there was a line they could never cross again. And so did I.
I learned that silence is not strength when it steals your dignity. I learned that sometimes love must be challenged. And I learned that behind me stood a father who would walk through any door to remind me I was never alone. The turning point wasn't the slap or the spit. It was the moment the door opened and light poured in, bringing back the strength I had forgotten. Because their real fear was not my father. It was the truth that I was no longer afraid of them.